In a fiery response to China's remarks against the country, Defense Secretary Gov't Teodoro calls Beijing a squatter and an illegal occupant in the West Philippine Sea. Teodoro fires back after China claimed that the Philippines is illegally occupying Pag-asa Island, which is inhabited by hundreds of Filipinos as it serves as the seat of the local government of Kalayaan Municipality in Palawan.
Pag inoccupy ng Pilipinas ang Hainan Island, yung illegal occupation doon. Pero yung nandito sila within our 205 exclusive economic zone, sila ang squatter, illegal occupants dito. Pwede naman sila mag-apply ng visa, bibigyan sila ng BID. Ewan ko kung bakit ayaw.
China's claim over Pag-asa Island comes after the armed forces of the Philippines reported that a Chinese warship made a dangerous maneuver against a Philippine Navy vessel near Pag-asa. The Philippine ship was en route to Rizal Reef for a regular rotation and resupply mission. Teodoro says China's assertion is laughable, noting that not many subscribe to their claims.
Ayoko naman matawa dahil bastos naman. Pero itanong mo sa kanila kung ano yung sabihin. Sasabihin nila siguro indisputable sovereignty ng South China Sea. Ilan na naniniwala to?
Lawmakers from both chambers of Congress react to President Bongbong Marcos's directive to suspend the immediate implementation of the controversial Maharlika Investment Fund law. In a memorandum dated October 12, Marcos ordered to suspend the laws implementing rules and regulations pending further study. Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri says Marcos's directive was a very prudent move, adding that the president and his economic team must have had good reason to study the measure further. For his part, Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel calls Marcos's decision a very good development, saying the law has not been fully studied from the very beginning. In September, Pimentel and former lawmakers filed before the Supreme Court a petition seeking to declare the MIF as unconstitutional. In a separate statement, Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva backs Marcos's decision, highlighting that the upper chamber submits to the president's wisdom. Meanwhile, House Deputy Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo says the chief executive may have reasons for doing so, adding she trusts Marcos's judgment over the issue. On the other hand, ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro says it would be better if Marcos junks the MIF due to concerns about the fund life of banks that would bankroll the program. However, Albay 2nd District Representative Joey Salceda clarifies that despite the suspension, the government is still on track to implement the MIF before 2023 ends. Kabayan Bloc lawmakers say they filed a House resolution urging the government to cooperate with the International Criminal Court's probe into human rights abuses in the wake of former President Rodrigo Duterte's alleged admission that he used secret funds to kill people. In a statement on Wednesday, the Makabayan lawmakers confirmed they filed House Resolution number 1393 on Tuesday, asking President Bongbong Marcos's administration to allow the entry of ICC probers. Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Rosas believes Duterte's statements over an SMNI interview serves as strong evidence against the former president. Rosas says Duterte in the interview supposedly admitted using intelligence funds to kill people and maintain peace and order in Davao City. Meanwhile, ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro says Duterte's admission on national television is enough to prove that the former president indeed ordered killings. In a clip of the interview shared by Magdalon National Chairperson Antonio Trillanes on X, Duterte can be heard saying that the intelligence funds were used to kill everyone. Marcos has previously maintained that his administration would no longer talk with the ICC, noting that the International Court only comes into the picture if the justice system in the country is not functioning. The Department of Migrant Workers says the 16 repatriated overseas Filipino workers from Israel arrived in the Philippines on Wednesday. The agency says DMW Officer in Charge Hans Leo Kakdak and Senator Raffy Tulfo, chair of the Senate Committee on Migrant Workers, welcomed the OFWs at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. According to DMW, the repatriated Filipinos will be provided immediate assistance and support, including psychosocial counseling, stress debriefing, medical referral, and temporary accommodation. DMW earlier said this first batch of repatriated Filipinos were caregivers and hotel workers in Israel. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says he was horrified by hundreds of people killed in a blast at a Gaza hospital. Palestinian officials say an Israeli airstrike hit the hospital, with the Palestinian Authority's health minister accusing Israel of causing a massacre. Israel blames the blast on a failed rocket launch by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group, which denied responsibility. Before flying to Beijing to attend a forum, Guterres says he had made 2 appeals to Hamas and to Israel.
Immediately before departing for Beijing, I made 2 urgent humanitarian appeals. To Hamas, for the immediate and unconditional release of the hostages. To Israel, to immediately allow unrestricted access of humanitarian aid to respond to the most basic needs of the people of Gaza, the overwhelming majority of whom are women and children.
Guterres also calls for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire, urging both parties to realize his appeals and ease the epic human suffering. The UN chief says he condemns the Hamas attacks against civilians in Israel on October 7, but notes that it cannot justify collective punishment of Palestinians. He also condemns the airstrike that killed at least 500 at a hospital in the Gaza Strip.
They cannot justify the acts of terror against civilians committed by Hamas on October 7 that I immediately condemned. But those attacks cannot justify the collective punishment of the Palestinian people. And I am horrified by the hundreds of people killed at Al-Ahli hospital this same day in Gaza by a strike that I strongly condemned earlier today.
The Land Transportation Office says it is producing 1 million license plates monthly to solve its backlog for both vehicle and motorcycle plates. In a statement, LTO Chief Vigor Mendoza II says they are producing 1 million plates per month, hoping to remove the 80,000 backlog on vehicle plates by the end of November. Meanwhile, LTO has a backlog of 13 million on motorcycle plates. Mendoza says that with the current production rate, he is confident they will wipe out the backlog for motorcycles by early 2025. According to Mendoza, the agency aims to shorten the waiting time for new license plates to 7 to 10 days from the submission of car documents, which currently takes months. The LTO chief adds that given the current production rate, they should already be able to cater to the demand of around 4,000 vehicle plates per day. He says this would guarantee there will be available license plates for newly bought vehicles.
Iba't iba ang naging reaksyon ng mga netizens sa biglang paglantad ng babaeng nakarelasyon umano noon ng yumaong master rapper na si Francis Magalona. May mga humanga sa tapang ni Abigail Rait na ibandera at pagsigawan sa buong universe ang dating nilang relasyon ng OPM icon at ang pagkakaroon nila ng anak. Pero may mga bumatikos at nang nega rin sa kanya. Ayon sa mga kumampi kay Abigail na dating flight attendant, tama lang na ipakilala niya sa publiko ang anak nila ni Francis at wala raw silang nakikitang masama rito dahil karapatan din ito ng bata. Bigyan daw ng chance ang bata dahil dugot laman ito ni Francis M na siguradong magiging masaya kapag naging successful din ang isa pa niyang anak. Ngunit marami ring bumatiko sa kanya dahil siguradong maiiba na raw ang tingin ng mga tao sa pumanaw na actor-singer nang dahil sa kanyang revelasyon. Sabi ng isang netizen, bakit ngayon lang daw sila lumantad? Dapat daw ay ipa-DNA agad ng dalaga para magkaalaman na. May mga nagsabi rin na tila ginagamit lang ni Abigail at ng anak niyang si Gail Francesca, si Francis M para magpaka-controversial. Lalo pa nga't mismo ang dating flight attendant na ang nagsabi na may planong pumasok sa mundo ng showbiz ang anak nila ni Francis M. Base kasi sa panayam ng vlogger na si Boss Toyo kay Abigail, very soon daw ay magsho-showbiz na rin ang anak tulad ng tatay umano nitong si Francis M. Pangarap din daw ng dalaga na maging singer at rapper. Nakapanayam ni Boss Toyo ang magina sa kanyang Pinoy Pawn Star vlog kung saan nagbenta rin sila ng jersey memorabilia ni Francis Magalona. Samantala hanggang ngayon ay hindi pa naglalabas ng pahayag ang asawa ni Francis na si Pia Magalona hinggil sa mga naging revelasyon ng umano'y nakarelasyon noon ng yumaong OPM legend.